We are live. Very good, very good. As always, we'll do a quick sound check, wait for some people to hop on, but we have breaking news to cover. If you are first joining us, we have breaking news surrounding unemployment and what is going on with that. New word out of nowhere, unexpectedly, coming from the White House and the Biden administration. We'll be covering it all in today's live, but first we'll do a little sound check, wait for the YouTube algorithm to do its thing. If you're first joining us, make sure you do go ahead and smash a like button. I'd appreciate that. Very good. The sound is working. If you're first joining us, guys, go ahead and smash the like button. I would appreciate that. Just help with the YouTube algorithm. We can get more people hopping on here so we can get started and dive right into the breaking news. Hello, Mark. Mark is here. Good old Mark. Nice to see you. Cool. Very good. Very good. Put that in the chat. Okay, we have about over a dozen people on right now, about a minute in. We're adding the people up. People are counting up here. Very good. If you're first joining us, as always, make sure that you go ahead and smash the like button. Hello, Mark. We are doing very good. How are you? How are you doing? I don't recall where you are from. You can let me know down below in the chat. If you're first joining us, make sure that you go ahead and let us know where you're tuning in from the chat box down below or onto the side, depending on which device you are working on. Marianne, very good. Brian, nice to see you. Great to have you on today's live. We have breaking unemployment news. We have good news and bad news. We'll be covering both. Tuning in from Vancouver, Washington. Nice to have you here. We are from New York. We are coming to you live from New York right now. If you're joining us, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button. Hello, Big TY, Big Ty TV, coming from South Carolina. Nice to see you. Good to have you on. Glad to have you on. Very good. So I think we have enough people on to get started with the news. I do think we have quite a few people on that would warrant us beginning. So it's regarding unemployment. Youngstown, Ohio. Very good. Very nice, Brian. Good to have you on. So it's regarding unemployment. We just covered unemployment in our last live video. If you didn't see that one, the link is always down below in the description. All the prior videos are always down below in the description, and of course on my channel as well. Hello, Joyce. Yes. All the red states plus one blue state took away unemployment, ended the unemployment early. Decided the cutoff should be much earlier than the September 6th deadline that was put in place by the American Rescue Plan. So that is correct. That is factual. We don't want to report fake news, so that is true. All the red states plus one blue state cut off unemployment earlier. Still, so many states do remain. All blue states remain. Now, the unemployment news, we have good news and bad news, right? So at first it sounds pretty bad. However, there is some hope, especially if your state is one that is not doing very good. It's not doing very good economically. It's not doing very good with the vaccine, not doing good with COVID. So the good news and bad news, we'll be talking about both. And if you're first hopping on right now, we've got some more people there. Go ahead and smash the like button. Thank you very much. And make sure you are subscribed. Perhaps if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. We always post new videos and updates every single week. You're not going to miss any of them. And make sure you have those notifications turned on. Click that little notification bell. That little bell will actually notify you each and every single time we do upload a brand new video, post a new update, or go live right here on our channel. So I think we'll start with we should start with the bad news. Just get that out of the way. We'll start with the bad news. Brace yourselves. It's not exactly what you wanted to hear. However, there is some silver lining. There is still some good news at the end of it. So we heard from quite a few people today. We heard from President Biden, and we also heard from the White House and the Biden administration and members of his cabinet that represent the country. So we heard from President Biden, but we also heard from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, as well as the Labor Secretary of the United States, Marty Walsh. So the news is that President Biden, as part of the American Rescue Plan, remember he extended the $300 a week supplement that was going to be cut off back in March, but the American Rescue Plan extended it one more time at $300 a week. And that deadline was September 6th for the next cutoff. And that's now just a couple weeks around the corner. It's coming up very soon. Millions of Americans on the brink of losing their unemployment benefits. And that's why we have such a drastic, dire situation in our country. Well, President Biden and top members of his administration today announced that they're going to let the benefits lapse, to let the unemployment programs lapse, and they will not continue the benefits any further. So the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and the Labor Secretary Marty Walsh wrote in a letter to the chairs of the House and the Senate Finance Committees with an update on where unemployment benefits stand. They wrote that although the weekly benefits have been, quote, a critical lifeline for millions of unemployed Americans, a further extension of the benefits, which some Democrats have been pushing for, is off the table. Yellen and Walsh wrote in the letter, quote, the temporary $300 boost in benefits will expire on September 6th as planned. Then they went on to say, quote, as President Biden has said, the boost was always intended to be temporary and it is appropriate for that benefit boost to expire. However, the officials and President Biden also noted that even as the economy is recovering from the pandemic and payrolls are being added to the labor market, unemployed people may still require financial assistance, and the Delta variant could bring an economic setback as well. So, with that being said, the Labor and the Treasury departments will take the following steps to help those who are unemployed. We'll get to that in 1 second. We have a lot of comments. Yes, sir, Tyson, we are talking about unemployment. That's all we're talking about. And we are on the point. I would imagine not much else to cover other than unemployment in the unemployment update. So we are talking about it. No worries. We are getting to the point. Just wanted to say hello to the people in. Oh, Leon, we are not flip flopping at all. Or unless Leon's talking about President Biden, because President Biden, remember, he originally did say that the unemployment benefits would lapse, and then recently the press secretary Jen Psaki, then she said that we don't have a final decision yet. That was just recently, a week ago, and now, yes, Joe Biden. Okay, just making sure. Okay, just making sure we're not flip flopping here on this channel. No, 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 no. Thank you very much, Leon, for clarifying that. So yes, let's get back to exactly what they outlined, what the Labor and Treasury departments essentially outlined, the steps that they will take to help those that are unemployed. Number one, the Treasury is reaffirming that states can use what they receive from the $350 billion in stimulus aid to provide additional support for unemployed people beyond the expiration of the benefits. And states do have a treasure chest, a boatload of stimulus aid still left over from all the federal stimulus programs, and they can use some of those resources and funds to implement their own programs. Labor will communicate with states on how they can best use their existing UI infrastructure, essentially the money that they have saved, locked away, to support state-funded benefits using stimulus funds. And Labor is announcing, the Labor Department, a $47 million new grant to support reemployment services for all Americans to help them get back to work, get back on their feet, and start recovering. Yellen and Marsh also wrote that the pandemic has exposed, quote, serious problems in the UI system that requires reform, which is why President Biden is asking Congress to reconsider, or at least consider, in this case, long-term reform of UI in Senate Democrats' $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. This is very important, and that should be part of infrastructure. We had so many problems with unemployment, especially in the early days of the pandemic back in March of 2020. It was just problem after problem. People weren't able to get through. People weren't able to receive their benefits for weeks and weeks on end. In some cases, months. They still had not received their benefits, and it took a long time to kick in. And that was time that they needed, the money that they needed for that time to put food on the table and provide for their families. And so the fact that we have this broken system in place in one of the most developed countries on the planet is truly shameful. So it is great, and it is ideal, it is smart to want to reform the unemployment benefit system with the new infrastructure bill, if it does pass, of course. Okay, that's the first one. That is a first one. I've never heard that. We've heard things like people thought I was 12 or 16 years old. We've heard that. We've had some, pretty insistent comments from more so on the female side, but a couple males as well. But we have a comment on the mouth. So that's a new one. I have not heard that one yet. I will keep that in the back pocket and remember that one for good. That's certainly something that I won't forget. And thank you very much, Terry, for watching the updates. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it greatly. Hello, Bandits Bud. He is here. Oh, yes, I believe Bandits Bud, he was speaking Cherokee to us in the last one, and he had said some sort of greeting to us in Cherokee, and that was really cool. I don't know the language, so that was news to me. But yes, back to the unemployment benefits. Quote, the president has already laid out his principles for such reform. He believes a 21st century UI system should prevent fraud, promote equitable access, ensure timeliness of benefits, very important, provide adequate support to the unemployed, and automatically expand benefits in a recession. So that's actually quite interesting because that could be a permanent implementation of stimulus in a sense. Because anytime that we have a recession, anytime that we have, hopefully not a once in a century pandemic again, that's interesting that benefits will automatically be expanded as opposed to having to negotiate and debate that by Congress. That's interesting. If in Biden's infrastructure bill, we can actually see some sort of a system, some sort of a calculation that will automatically have that in place. So that way we don't have to wait for Congress to approve a legislation that would include unemployment. And of course, preventing fraud. That's you see all the news reports coming out, especially in recent months, of people taking millions of dollars on unemployment benefits collectively from the system in their states. So that's quite important, especially we want that money to go to the right people. We want it to go to people that need the money. And timeliness of benefits is, of course, another key factor. We want those benefits to go out quickly, rapidly, pronto. So after a weak April jobs report, 25 GOP-led states, as we have covered, and one governed by a Democrat, there was that one blue state, Louisiana, moved to end unemployment benefits early for the residents because they believed that it disincentivized them from returning back to work and it was creating a labor shortage. According to an analysis from the left-leaning People's Policy Report or Project, over 20 million Americans will lose their benefits when the September expiration rolls around. So that's why this is such a really a dire situation where so many people are in dire straits, and ending unemployment unfortunately will do more damage than good with this many people on the brink of about to lose their benefits. So that's what we heard as far as the labor secretary and the Treasury Department. And the Biden administration has determined that the $350 billion in relief money allocated to states and localities in March under the $1.9 trillion stimulus package can be used to pay for unemployment benefits. So essentially, the long and the short of it. Hello, Bandits Bud. He is coming to us from Lake Fork in Texas. Trump got reelected thanks to Joe Biden. The reinstatement did not happen in August as that was planned on August 13th. So, we don't want to spread any misinformation on this channel. Okay, great. Okay, Bandits Bud is smashing the like button, making sure that the subscribe button and bell is smashed. Very good. Very good. So the long and the short of it is essentially that the bad news is that the unemployment benefits, they will be ending early, right? We understand that September 6th is not a surprise. Many people, very few of them really thought that this was going to be extended. We kind of knew that this was going to be the last time and that this would have been the last extension under the American Rescue Plan. So it's not a shock. This wasn't an absolute surprise that it will lapse on September 6th and there won't be any more benefits. However, what is nice and what is reassuring is that President Biden and the Biden administration is essentially saying that states can continue to pay their own benefits if it's in the state's budget, if they have extra money left over, if the states are individually are doing poor economically, poor with COVID, the Delta variant is hurting their communities, and so they are able to use the money that they have left over from stimulus packages towards unemployment benefits, and the states can individually decide to keep paying them and extend them. So that is reassuring. That is certainly a silver lining to today's announcement and today's news with unemployment from the White House. On Ohio suing the governor. I have not heard of that. I did not hear about that. Not too keen on Ohio politics, being from New York. However, potentially, if it involves unemployment, we'd certainly cover that in a future update. But that's very interesting. I will certainly read about that after we are done here. Those 8 million people. That is true. That is actually very, very true, Leon, that you mentioned that, because you do have the situation where you have, all these other federal programs being extended. You have now the student loan forbearance program being extended all the way to January 2022, which is nearly 2 years after the virus entered the United States. And then you also have the eviction moratorium being somewhat extended in some scope for quite a handful of months. Hopefully Bandits Bud meant like. He said dislike there. We don't want to do any of dislikes, right? Only likes. But I appreciate you going to show your friends. Very good. And I appreciate that. Very good. Thank you very much, Bandits Bud. But back to what we were saying about the federal programs, that is very true. right, there is no such word as reelected. It's reelected, but I kind of was able to deduce that from the statement. $200 federal unemployment boost. Right, so that's part of the programs. Okay, so he's saying that the people are suing the governor for the $300. Right, so I figured that it was in regards to unemployment. That's what I kind of figured. I was able to infer that from your comment. We will certainly look into that. I know that there's certainly other lawsuits happening in other states. We covered so many different lawsuits in Indiana, Maryland, and other states where they ended them early. That was some months ago that we covered them on our channel. I did not hear about the Ohio lawsuit, so we'll certainly be looking into that. If that's more recent, certainly we'll be covering that in a future update. But what Leon was saying was that all the other programs have been extended. You know, the student loan forbearance program, that's extended to January 2022. We also have the eviction moratorium being extended in some scope, and other programs as well. But yet unemployment is being ended early, and that's arguably the program that is most vital and will help the most vulnerable, especially during the virus, because it's a matter of truly putting food on the table and being able to eat and keep a roof over your head. So it is quite interesting how one of the most important programs is the one that Biden chose to forego and did not even tell Congress to try to enact it, try to extend it, and basically gave it no fighting chance whatsoever and just abruptly said that it's over. As we have talked about in previous updates, perhaps if it was phased out, perhaps if it wasn't just an abrupt cutoff, but rather a decrease in benefits over time, or perhaps only people under certain previous income thresholds, they receive the benefits. Some system, some way where the benefits don't have to be abruptly cut off on September 6th, that would be the way to go. That would really be the way to help the people and not just let millions and millions of people have no recourse and struggle and scramble to start finding work, or if they can't find work, start finding a way to afford to put food on the table and a roof over their head. So I'm very surprised that the Biden administration, especially following the Afghanistan situation, which dropped his approval rating, now he has under 50% approval rating. I would not be shocked if you saw this drop his approval rating even further, and he might go into the low 40s, maybe even the high 30s. Who knows? You never know. I mean, look at Governor Cuomo of New York, who was one of the most popular governors, one of the most popular politicians during the pandemic, and he left office with, sub 40 in the 30s approval rating. So it'll be very interesting to see what Biden's approval rating will be, especially following now not just Afghanistan, but also this decision of to cut off unemployment, which likely affects a large electorate that got him elected, particularly minorities, people of color, the most vulnerable, seniors, people that truly need these benefits are the people that most likely got him in office. And so it's really, really so shocking that President Biden did not even try to get this passed in Congress. He did not even say anything, even a tweet about trying to get unemployment extended. Quite shocking, and that's the way it is, unfortunately. But hopefully, if your state does have some money left over, if they have additional funds and additional resources, hopefully the states will try their best to implement unemployment and extend it. But at this point, that's the news, and that's what we know so far. Be sure to update you guys if certain states do decide to extend the unemployment benefits in light of the announcement, subsequently, because of the announcement that we heard today from the White House and the Biden administration. So perhaps you might see some states announce that they'll be extended, and especially that all the states that are still paying them out are blue states, red states. That could be more conducive to these states actually extending them and wanting to extend them when you have blue legislatures and blue governors in these states that are still paying the benefits out. Hello, Micho. I like the name. He's coming to us from California, and California might be one of the first states to announce that they're extending unemployment. I mean, look how California was one of the first states to, I think, the first to put the mask mandate back into the state and back into the cities of California. They're one of the first to, with the surge in the Delta variant, even though they have some of the highest vaccination rates in the country, they were one of the first to, reenact the mask mandate. So perhaps California will be one of the first to announce that unemployment will be extended. So we'll be keeping our eyes peeled. I would be shocked if 0 states announce that they're not extending unemployment. I think we're going to see some, at least some, especially some very progressive states that no, that they have, still some high unemployment rates compared to the national average, I think we could expect to see some states, at least some, maybe all, who knows? We'll see what happens now that they're extending unemployment. So we'll be sure to update you guys right here on this channel. Again, if you're first tuning in, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button. I hope you enjoyed the live. I appreciate everyone that hopped on board with us. Thank you so much. And if you're brand new here for some reason, you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure that the notifications are turned on. And if you want to get some free stocks, as always, go ahead and use the links down below in the description of this video. You get some free stocks from Webull and Robinhood, some valued up to thousands of dollars. With Webull, you can actually get 2 free stocks. Robinhood, you get a free stock, all in me, all free. No caveats, no gimmicks. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, which potentially might be live. It might be a regular upload. Who knows? Let me know down below in the chat what you like better, these lives that are more interactive, or do you like the pre-recorded updates? Do let me know which ones you like best. But that will be it for now, and I appreciate everyone that tuned in today. Thank you very much, and see you next time.